Let's go. I'm better than ever, they never been better than I. Regarded the hardest and I ain't even reaching my prime. They hate that I'm great and they faking I'm real as they come. So sit back and let me show you how this shit is done. My composition, my propositions, I'm raping the system. I'm killing the competition and all of y'all are my victims. Eyes and oohs as I'm ripping the instrumental. Lyrical, individual, never been sentimental. I'm so hot every time that beat drop. And when I say I'm raping the system.
What is good, boxing fans and gamers? It's your boy FightNightsFinest getting dropped here by Vander Holyfield. From that left hook, this man was spamming all game long. Just power left hooks, occasional power straight, and then there was some points where the guy absolutely knew how to throw combos, but it's not broke, don't fix it. I don't know if it's because I was using Joe Frazier that he wanted to prove he can out left hook me or whatever the case might have been. But you know, as Joe Frazier, if you can't trade with your opponent, it's like, what are you supposed to do? In real life, he's an aggressive fighter. Trade with that left hook, you know, bob and weaving his way in, you know, ducking punches, moving in, and, you know, trying to deliver those combinations. But if you can't do that, it's like, what are you supposed to do? That's what I was trying to figure out in this match, because I just could not lay hands on this man. Like, his defense, power left hook, and then he'll just strike me. But we're going to take a look at two matches here, and I think it's important that we take a look at losses too on my channel, because losses actually will help you get better. And the thing that I've learned from not only this fight, but also the fight after this that we're going to see, we got a double header, man. A double header, yeah, like Fight Night losing twice? This must be a fake video or something. But seriously, I think there's a lot that we can learn from losses. And one of the things that I want to talk about online matches is that, don't you know those matches, or you know, those people that you go up against and you just like, you know you're better than this guy, but you get so stubborn that you only want to win one type of way. As we get knocked down again, I think, what was this time, straight right hand that put us down? So I don't remember exactly how many times I went down in this particular matchup, but I went down quite a bit. Needless to say, you just want to beat them a certain way, man. Like, you get really stubborn, and the only thing you want to do is beat them either coming on the inside or going backwards. And that's usually how I lose most of my fights. Now, I don't know exactly how most of the time you guys lose, because what I see from you guys in the comment section usually is like, you know, I beat these guys by tiring them out, or, you know, by doing this, that, and the third. But the type of matches that you lose, what is the type of matches that you guys end up losing? I know me, it's because I get extremely stubborn. I want to win on the inside. That's how I usually win most of my matches. I know the adjustments that I have to make, but it's like, I don't want to make those adjustments. I want to keep doing what it is that I'm doing, and, you know, hopefully it works, you know. That kind of like that old school style boxers, like most sluggers did, like, you know, Rocky Marciano, just come on the inside, and, you know, this is the one and only way I can fight, you know. He knew as a fighter he didn't have the best footwork. He didn't have the fastest punching speed. He wasn't the most accurate puncher. You know, he didn't have the greatest form behind his punches. So it's like, you know, the one thing I can do is I can hit hard and I can move forward, and, you know, I can't get tired. That man was conditioned for 20 rounds of fighting, man. That's how conditioned Rocky Marciano was for his fights. But, you know, I try to do that on this game, and it just don't work out, needless to say. But coming into this fight, I was like, you know, I want to get on the inside, I want to jab, and, you know, I want to try to land that left hook. One problem that I had during this match, I couldn't land the left hook. That was the first problem. If you can't land the left hook as Joe Frazier, there's pretty much nothing else you can do with him on this game. Joe Frazier, as most of you guys know who try to play with him, he's extremely underpowered on this game. And he only has an 88 overall, and most of the guys Frazier lost to was guys like Foreman and Ali. I don't think he ever lost to anybody else. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but Joe Frazier didn't lose to no bums. So the fact that, you know, he's one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, like top 10 in heavyweights, and the man has an 88 overall is ridiculous. Like, he was quite a good fighter, and he did have some power behind his shots. So we get dropped yet again. Wait, is this the part where we get dropped? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the part we get dropped. Actually, the fight comes to an end and we end up losing by decision. But yeah, so we take a look at the scorecards here. I couldn't do anything. 44% landed to his 39%. And what was his two most thrown punches? Of course, the left hook, which he was spamming all game, and then that occasional power straight. Like, I thought he would wear himself out throwing 481 power shots, but of course not. And then we go over to our second middleweight bout. going, getting dropped as Jermaine Taylor. Now we all know Jermaine Taylor ain't that good. Yeah, he was able to beat Bernard Hopkins, but you know, get that split decision. I mean that draw on Wiki, right? And able to pick up a win like that. But you know, I don't really respect Jermaine Taylor as a fighter. And on this game, coming as Jermaine Taylor into the ring, you have to be the aggressive and you have to have control with that jab. But Keyshawn Hayes over here was just giving me that work downstairs to the body. Especially with these bigger fighters, you can't trade, and especially with the low-overall fighters, you can't really trade that well. So we end up taking a loss here too. Why? We couldn't trade on the inside, which is one of the things I'm best at. But because you get hit in the body, and you know the stamina deterioration with the lower level fighters are much greater than using an A-class fighter on this game, it's not much you can pretty much do. And I think one of the parts that factor into is the defensive factor on the game. It's like sometimes you could see things which there's not really much you can do to react towards it. But another way that I end up losing is we get dropped by a power left hook. I think we end up getting cold clocked onto the canvas here. But another way that I end up losing matches most of the time is not only the fact that I don't want to make adjustments and, you know, be stubborn on the inside. It's like sometimes I make character choices like this. And I like fighting with low overall fighters. But you know, against a Keyshawn Hayes, fighting with Jermaine Taylor, not the best choice. And playing passive is one of the things you're going to have to do when you get into these matches with the low overall fighters. If you guys didn't check out my Live Fight Friday match using Peter Manfred Jr. against Thomas Hearns, please go ahead and check that out. But that was one of those matches. If he had a 160 fight, I definitely would have lost. So the challenge of fighting with low overall fighters is, you know, it's quite a challenge for me. And I think I'm pretty damn good at the game. I pretty much think I mastered every single facet of the game that there is. Of course, there's always room for improvement. But, you know, I'm a pretty good fighter. And, you know, if I want to challenge myself, I got to do stuff like this. Because, you know, if I was to go use like a Robinson or a Bishop, I don't think I will lose too often. And I'm pretty sure most of you guys wouldn't either. So, you know, trying to get that diversity in there, it's been a struggle for me. It's been a challenge. And if you guys have been watching my videos recently, that's exactly what it is that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go ahead and I'm trying to get matches in with like Jermaine Taylor's, Peter Manfred Jr.'s, who else is low overall, like Emmanuel Augustus. Fighters of that caliber, Ricky Hatton, that's the one I'm going to try to go ahead and get a win with in my next fight. But, you know, doing this is extremely challenging. If anybody's bored with the game or they just think they're super great at the game, I want you guys to go ahead out there and try to win matches with characters like these, because it's not an easy task. And it really isn't an easy thing to do, because there's so many, like, you really have to be on point with everything. And I think when you go to use these better fighters like the Ray Robinsons and the other people on the game, such, you know, like Mike Tyson and fighters of that caliber, when you go to use them, you'll be that much better because you don't have to compensate for as much. But if you're doing all the same things that you would usually do with a guy like Jermaine Taylor in order to try to pick up that win, and you can do that using like a Mike Tyson or Ray Robinson, imagine how much better of a fighter you would be. I think that's one of the things that you can really learn from fighting with lower level characters, is that when you go to the better characters and you get that compensation that you don't have with the underskilled fighters, you'll be better conditioned to go ahead up against better competition. And, you know, I think that's a good way to look at it as we get dropped yet again. I think this is one of these fights where it's not much I could have done, and when you go up against good competition using lower level fighters, it really is hard to win. But it's just one of those things that I would like to see you guys trying out. Please leave in the comment section below what you guys do in terms of, you know, what kind of matches you lose and how you lose. Another thing, actually, before we go ahead and cut this video off, because we're coming down to the last round of the fight that I was in. As you can see, we're getting dominated on the scorecards. We're getting a blowout here after the only round we won was the first. I felt like I won the second, but, you know, they gave that to him too. But one thing that I struggle with bad is button mashers that just come forward throwing all kinds of punches. And, you know, there's no real skill, no real strategy towards it. And most people would think, well, you know, Fight Night, that's the easiest people to outbox. But then again, you know, I get that problem that I have of liking to trade with people on the inside. And, you know, also trying to develop and see patterns is one of the weaknesses that I have in my game plan. Is if I can't establish a pattern, I don't know what adjustments to make. So those are my weaknesses as a fighter, as a boxer and player on this game. Tell me what you guys' weaknesses are in this game as we come down to the to the closing moments of this round, where I'm just trying to keep them off of me. And like I said, you got to be the bully with Jermaine Taylor, and with low stamina after trying to work the body and everything else. This guy is just so powerful, and he's just hitting us with all kinds of power left hooks. That's just been a Dragon Slayer for me last night. Get hit with that power straight over the top. He closes the gap with the jab, lands a nice 2-punch combination downstairs to the body, and follows it up with 2 uppercuts, and we go down to the canvas. That's gonna be the last round. Remember, I'm live streaming tomorrow at Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Probably will be playing some Fight Night tomorrow, or might do a different game. Not exactly sure what. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed, to like this video, and remember to leave that comment in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. This has been your boy, Fight Night's Finest, the Sophie commentator, and I'm off. Peace.